year's $48 million. With other free agents still out there, stay up to date on all things Packers related right here on 100.5 ESPN Madison or over at ESPNWisconsin.com. In the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks are coming off of back-to-back losses, and they're on the road tonight as they head down to Indianapolis to take on the Indiana Pacers. Currently, Milwaukee is one spot ahead of the Pacers in the Eastern Conference standings. Jim, Matt, and Molly starts right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
We got Homer, Matt Hamilton.
Yeah.
We have
Pessimist Molly.
No. Realist. Maybe that's just me being a negative Packer fan, but
Pessimistic Polly.
there you go. Did you just call me Polly?
I did say Polly.
yes.
I know it's been a while, but okay.
I know. Welcome back, Polly. I don't disagree that we need to keep up with the Joneses, as they say. The other
They
teams
need to be
around
the
us.
Joneses. That's what they need to be.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Jim Rutledge, Molly Brown with you in the Everlight Solar Studio. We are ready for the show, Molly Brown. Matt Hamilton, too busy looking at the new Texas Rangers hat that is
I'm a nut.
banned, I think, in most stores. It's sold out as well. But Matt Hamilton, part of the show as well. We are presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that's Crush, a
Coors Light.
Thanks for joining us today, Matt.
I mean, I was here. I was ready in spirit and body, just not in equipment.
Yes, but you are here now. We're happy to have you, Matt Hamilton. Get into the show, 844-770-3776 on the Carlos Talking text line. List is more. And yesterday's Saturday Unlimited poll question definitely elicited a lot of responses along with my take that, it's getting a little buzz on the interweb there. And I
absolutely ridiculous.
basically said the Packers are dancing closer to the Milwaukee Brewers. We're just here for a good time sort of realm over the last 4 years. Like, you can't argue with against Aaron Rodgers his last year with the Packers. It came down to the last game of the season. Jordan Love's first time in the playoffs. Didn't it come down to the last game of the season there, too? They already have it sealed. No, they had it sealed.
No, they were in it.
Well, last year I know they were in it, but the year before they were in it as well.
Yeah.
Because they were the 7th seed, which is a non-existent seed like 5 years ago.
They had to get the win against the Bears in the regular season finale in order to qualify.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, so then that was... they've been making it interesting, even if they missed the playoffs, but they have not been making it incredibly interesting in the playoffs with one playoff victory over the last 4 years and have not won the division the last 3 years. So we asked the question, our signing limited poll question from yesterday, does Goody deserve the benefit of the doubt as the Packers GM? And 66% of you still said yes. And shout out to Rip and Rona.
Take that for that.
Who did a lot of his own research. And
Dedicated.
Amazing handwriting, Rip. And there seems to be, and the reason why I said did his own research, there seemed to be a little bit of teams added and subtracted that I'm not exactly sure why they were added and subtracted. But however it worked, Rip, we appreciate the effort.
I did. And
thank you.
Jim's not putting enough emphasis on this. The handwriting was immaculate.
Way better than mine.
Yes, it was truly immaculate. And I would like to point out here, as I referenced the take I had, and this might be my favorite and most all-encompassing idea of what the internet is. Dennis Hatlin chimes in. I never listened to the show. It's amazing how bad local sports talk radio is. So how would you know it's bad if you never listened to it?
Just the idea of...
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
did he comment on our poll question? What did he comment on?
He might have commented on the video, but
Or if he just saw the video online, he might not be listening on the radio.
True, but you still took the time to watch it online. And if you
And
watch
then,
it online,
and then make the comment.
right.
So
which,
thank
I mean,
you.
Yeah.
People like me.
Thank you.
Liar. Like people like us. And we will talk about the Packers today. And honestly, the reason why I feel like yesterday's take and yesterday's conversation was good, that I had like a 60-40 people against me, but with me as well. They were Packer fans who were with me. And my whole take from yesterday was that the Packers, rightfully so, and this is what Rip and Rona chimed in on, like have been blue blood sort of franchise. But if we just looked at the last 4 years, missing the playoffs, not winning the division in the last 3 years, and winning one playoff game, puts you on the fringe of blue blood. And so if you
Do
want...
blue bloods ever really get knocked out of being blue bloods, though?
The Bears would be a blue blood if they don't, right? Because that's a
Yeah,
pillar
but-
franchise. They
right,
are not.
but I
Kentucky
don't-
was out of it for a long time. UCLA was out of it for a long time.
But
Absolutely.
people still
Alabama,
consider them blue bloods. They just were like, they're just not good right now.
This is how you know it's March. Guys.
but like
It's a little semantics, but at the
No,
same time,
because
like
that-
everybody looks at the Bears and be like, they are a pinnacle of the like they are
Pillar?
the pillar of the NFL. Like they
but
are
that's a different thing. Like
as synonymous with the NFL as
Cornerstone franchise.
yes.
a spoon is to ice cream.
Right, and the Packers will always be a cornerstone franchise, but like that also
Will you
implies
eat
that
ice
like
cream with a fork, Molly? You're giving me that look. Like a spoon is not essential to ice cream.
I mean,
the
I'm just thinking about
Patriots-
ice cream
like the
cones.
Patriots were not around early, but they're obviously a blue blood at this point, right?
I mean, they were a dynasty.
Are the Patriots Dippin' Dots? Is that no free advertising?
But why? What's with the ice cream comp?
Well, because
I
Matt,
just
don't
made
know.
an ice cream
It was Matt's ice
for
cream
no
thing.
reason. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh.
you just made a Dippin' Dots. So what are you saying with Dippin' Dots?
Well, because
Just
they're
that
the
a different-
nouveau version of ice cream. Remember, they were the future of ice cream was Dippin' Dots.
Gotcha. Okay.
Were you not 5 years old in 2004? Were you not like me?
They were the future of ice
7.
cream when I was a child. So
Really?
the future never arrived. Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Well, okay.
Do they exist anymore?
They do, but
Kinda like
they're
the
it's so
Patriots.
mid. People that say
Ooh.
they like Dippin' Dots, you're a liar.
Well,
Oh, I think they're fun.
they're fun. Like
Yeah,
you
they're
can
fun,
have.
but like if I were to give you a freezer with Dippin' Dots and ice cream in it, and you could just dig into it whenever you want, you are taking the ice cream more often than you're taking.
Can
the
I tell you
Dippin'
this
True.
is probably the secret behind the Dippin' Dots though is that they know they can't compete, so you put them in select places.
Yeah.
And then when you're
Dots?
there,
Like a ball game or
yeah. So when you're
Disney
there,
on Ice, perfect
yeah.
place.
Yeah. So when you're there to choose between regular ice cream or Dippin' Dots, and the only place you can get Dippin' Dots is at said location,
Yeah.
you go to the Dippin' Dots.
Or the
They're-
fourth game on CBS, one or the other.
What?
Patriots.
Still just riding this out here. All right. But we do have another poll question to get into today. And basically, we've had 24 hours since the last show, had a chance to sit back and
Yes.
take everything in. And the question is, after the first full day of free agency, had the Packers lost ground in the NFC? 844-770-3776. That's the Cardinals Talking text line. List is more. Our Siding Unlimited poll question to start the show. After the first full day of free agency, have the Packers lost ground in the NFC?
That's interesting. You'd have to kind of break it down. I feel like I hate to agree with you yesterday, but they're kind of treading water as far as where their position is. I think they're still right around 7.
Well, that's a very precarious place to be.
It
There's
certainly
no
is.
room for error.
Right.
The Minnesota Vikings, like if you look in division here, Minnesota Vikings, they've had a heck of and we're going to go in order of teams to truly challenge the Packers based off of what happened last year. Now, yes, they are losing Sam Darnold, but I feel like for 80% of the season, every Packer fan and most of the season told you that Sam Darnold stunk. So then, like, now that he's gone, all of a sudden the Vikings are taking a step backward. I don't know what J.J. McCarthy would be,
Thank
but
goodness he had those last couple games so I could feel justified in saying that
Well,
Sam
that's the
Darnold
thing.
sucks.
But also,
Well,
the
he's-
reason why
he
he
got
performed
paid
the way that
still.
he did in those last couple games because their offensive line was trash, which was a major area that they addressed yesterday in free agency. So it
Well, then
shouldn't
they-
make you feel
yeah.
good.
I mean, it made me feel good knowing that he failed it.
Oh, me too.
in the
He
big
Darnold.
moment.
He
Yeah,
Darnold. Like, he did what we were expecting him to do all season.
Eventually, right? It took 16 games.
Yeah, which good for him. I mean, they got him a starting role in Seattle.
Yeah.
Well,
for
they
a
added,
lot of money.
What, Ryan Kelly at center,
Yep.
Will Freeze, I don't know how you say his name. It's spelled like
Fries.
Fries.
It's
Will,
Fries.
Will Fries.
Great last
Ice cream and fries, delicious.
Yes.
Now I'm hungry.
So Will
Guys,
Fries
I'm a bottomless
and Ryan
pit.
Kelly on the offensive line.
Yeah.
And then
I'm a bottomless pit.
Javon Hargrave, and then they also added Jonathan Allen. So they've added to the trenches. And honestly, I feel like the easiest way, and the Packers borrowed this a little bit as well, the easiest way to guarantee success, if you're going to make a bet on someone working, usually the lines is a fairly safe bet just from their big bodies, and if they've done it for a while, it's really just about injury. So the Vikings have improved. The wild card there is what's the drop-off between Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy. I don't know, but realistically, if I had to bet, you're really talking about the ceiling for this team, just like with Sam Darnold. And we're starting to learn what the ceiling is for Jordan Love. We got a glimpse into what the ceiling was for Sam Darnold. He gets another year or two. He's younger than a lot of these starters, and we just saw. So is Sam Darnold Baker Mayfield and Geno Smith, and he's going out to Seattle and win there? That's what I would guess his ceiling is. J.J. McCarthy, I don't know what his ceiling is, but he does give off the vibe of a guy that might have a high floor, that might come in with this running game and these weapons, and Brock Purdy his way to another respectable season for the Vikings, that 8 to 11 window. Like, if I was betting on it right now,
Well, they have
take
last
away
year,
Sam
13.
Darnold.
14.
So you take away Sam Darnold. Mm-hmm. I would put the Vikings in that. I guess, no, I won't go 8 because I'll go 9 to 12 window. Like, somewhere in there is what you picked today, right, for the Vikings? Is that fair?
Yeah, maybe. I might be a little more pessimistic and just think that this rookie who literally handed the ball off a ton in college is going to be a little overwhelmed with the NFL, at least early.
But also,
not a rookie.
yeah, he's in
okay.
his second year. First year playing, just like what we were
it's
always
gonna be
saying
his
for
first year starting.
But also, you got to think about the weapons that he has, right? Like Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson. That's going to make Aaron Jones. That's going to make his life so much easier. So, I think that's going to play a major part. So, I would say on the higher end is where I would agree with you there.
You think 12? Oh, wow.
They have Kevin O'Connell is a hell of a coach too.
No,
you can't knock
I
that
think-
either. And their defense looked really good last year too.
I don't think it's impossible. I just think it's on the high end. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
It does matter, though, because this is what we want to talk about with the Packers sliding back. So Minnesota was a playoff team that finished in front of the Packers last year.
Do I have faith in them going to the playoffs?
So
no,
they didn't lose
but
ground on anybody. Like, in theory, like the Vikings are still ahead of them, so they didn't jump the Vikings.
Right, but let's talk about the Lions.
That's what we're talking about, the NFC.
Yeah, so the Lions here as well. DJ, but again, you as a fan should be in the position of wanting to go forward. I understand the poll question, but this is kind of like if you ain't moving forward, if you either get busy living or get busy dying.
if you ain't first, you're last. Don't
I
you
just
love
think
that
it's
movie?
a bold move to say that a journeyman quarterback at this point in Sam Darnold, who's been in the league for 4 years, and you're replacing him with a guy who's coming off an ACL. And
Not an ACL, MCL.
I think he was. Meniscus. Coming off a knee.
Anatomy.
He's coming off a knee injury, and he's first-time starter in the NFL that they're not going to have any sort of regression. You're just playing that as a wash, and I think that's a little...
Well, we are talking regression. If they go from, let's say, 11 wins, that's a 3-game regression.
Okay.
I also
I hear you. I just
fully
think
understand
it's-
what you're saying, but I think that you can't. I think you can't overlook the power of his weapons that he has too. His weapons are a hell of a lot better than what Jordan Love has.
That's true. I'll give you that.
The Detroit Lions added DJ Reed at corner, Derek Barnes, a linebacker, Anthony Pittman. Their biggest losses we're not gonna know, but it's in the coaching staff. They lost their defensive coordinator and their offensive coordinator, and they lost some positional coaches in there as well. Now the trade-off is Dan Campbell, and these are both of. Just like the Packers, when we talk about them, get the benefit of the doubts on things. Kevin O'Connell, in my opinion, especially where we see Kirk Cousins falling off a cliff, like what he got out of Kirk Cousins, and then he was almost able to piecemeal the rest of the quarterbacks coming in on the fly to get his team to the playoffs. He would have. Let's all remember that if Kirk Cousins doesn't blow out his Achilles, the Packers don't make the playoffs in year one with Jordan Love. But regardless, Kevin O'Connell got the most out of Kirk Cousins, and then last year Sam Darnold. And then obviously he was with Stafford with the Rams. So like he is starting to get the benefit of the doubt as developing quarterbacks and knowing when they're ready. So we also don't know what they're going to do. Could it be Aaron Rodgers? Could it be Russell Wilson? We don't know what's going to be their quarterback.
Right.
And then you look at Detroit. Detroit has won the division. Is it 3 years in a row now?
Two for sure. Who won it the year the Packers didn't
2
make
years
it?
in a row. The Minnesota won it the other year.
Yeah, because the Packers and the Lions had like essentially the same record.
Yeah.
The Lions beat us to get
knock
Seattle
us out.
in, I think, and both of us were out.
Yeah, so so you got Detroit winning the last 2 division titles. Dan Campbell has turned that whole program around there, and then they're continuing to add players, and they draft well. So again, I would assume that both those teams either stay in front of or on par with the Packers.
I would say on par's fair.
Well, Detroit is better than the Packers,
Right.
They're not
but when
gonna
I
slip.
say on par, is like if they both made improvements, it was in the same increments. If they're the
Oh,
same,
no,
they're
no.
the same amount apart still. Because, like you said, you make a very good point. Losing an offensive and defensive coordinator, that's a big deal.
You're really happy about this treading water thing for the Packers. So you want everyone
I'm
else
not
treading
happy
water.
about it. I just, now that we're breaking down some of the other teams, I'm realizing they're not making these giant jumps forward either.
Well, what about
They're
where
replacing a bunch of players they lost, but when you lose coaches, that's terrible.
Well, what about when that coach stays in the division though? Goes to the.
I mean, yeah, but that doesn't help the Lions. Like, I hear what you're saying.
But does that help the other team possibly start to catch up to the
I
Packers?
think the Bears, of all the teams in the NFC North, are probably the ones that actually made a step forward based on how we've been starting to break this conversation down. Or a significant step forward. I guess you could argue that the other ones have started doggy paddling for it, as Jim likes to say.
Yeah.
Instead of treading water, they're doggy paddling. They're moving, but they're doing it casually.
So all things considered, the Packers so then are still in line to get third in the North under your logic.
Yes, based on this logic right now.
Okay.
And I think that's a fair assessment. You can't look at 2 teams that won 14 games, 13 games, and be like, oh, Packers are better now because we didn't do much.
Especially the Lions, who
I'm
have
not
done it a
saying
couple
that.
years in a row. Then to
I'm
Chicago.
not chuffed about it, but I'm just here. I'm just trying to make sure that it doesn't sound like the Packers are being left in the dust when it doesn't seem like that's quite the case.
We're just talking just
See,
about the division.
I'm kind of feeling like they are, even in just their division alone.
Well, the wild card here is Chicago.
Yeah.
So they replaced their coach, who was 5-19 in one-score games, which is well below league average. Well below league average there. And then they brought in, and again, you don't know what's going to happen there, but they brought in the hottest coaching candidate over a 2-year span. He chose Chicago. They brought him in. Now, Chicago always wins the offseason, and you don't know what's going to happen there. But Caleb Williams, look at his rookie season, had actually a really good statistical season. He was second in the NFL as far as touchdown to interception rate. He was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in the fourth quarter. We talked about it during the year. Against NFC North teams, he was statistically better than Jordan Love with the same amount of wins. And so I don't know what all that means. Chicago had major holes on the offensive line. They have unquestionably, on paper, filled those with cement. I mean, they brought in a guy who's coming off back-to-back All-Pros, and the year before that he was second-team All-Pro in Thuney. And then they brought in Dahlman, who, if you look at the analytics, is a top 5 center for 3 years in a row. And so they are trying to fix it. They have a long way to go, and they're probably more likely to catch Minnesota than Green Bay. But Chicago's, you're right, the only team in the NFC North.
And why do you say they're more likely to catch Minnesota than Green Bay?
Well, to your point, we'll assume we have to give Jordan Love the benefit of the doubt there over J.J. McCarthy.
Okay.
So now, can Chicago surprise the world? Absolutely.
We did the same thing last year with Love and over Darnold, and saw how that turned
True.
out. So it's not. Yeah, what you're saying, I agree with, but it's not set in stone.
So I just want to share.
But I agree with you.
I want to share this part with you as we go to break here. This was from Get Up this morning. Top free agent spenders over the last 9 seasons. The 2024 Eagles, they improved by 3 wins. The 2023 Ravens improved by 3 wins. The 2022 Jaguars improved by 6 wins. The 2021 Patriots, 3 wins. The 2020 Dolphins, 5 wins. The 2019 Jets by 3 wins. The 2018 Bears by 7 wins. The 2017 Jaguars by 7 wins. And the 2016 Giants by 5 wins. Now, some of those teams are lower and they had a bigger jump to be made, but there is a correlation to spending money in free agency and winning games the next year.
Okay.
Every team that has been the number 1 spending team in free agency since 2016 has won more games than they have the year before, at a minimum of 3. And so when you talk about Minnesota adding all those players to fill their holes, McCarthy is the wild card, but if McCarthy is close to Darnold, then they are better. than the Packers. They are a little bit of a we don't know team, but they're in play to be a team that does make a big jump. At Canopy Wealth Management, they are a fee-based advisory firm. They don't chase commissions and never back gimmicks or instruments that chase single-day returns or put your long-term goals at risk. The team at Canopy creates strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. Canopy Wealth Management, care, competence, and clarity aren't just buzzwords. They're a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with them today. That's canopy-wealth.com. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
But
I've never seen the movie either.
I've only seen the
Really?
Yeah, I had no interest in the movie.
Oh my gosh, the movie is terrible. Terribly awesome. Did you just touch my butt, Dewey? I know your tricks, Dewey. What? I quote that all the time.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Ready to live the high life at home? Miller High Life is giving one lucky winner the ultimate backyard dive bar experience. It's a cabana complete with classic bar vibes, neon lights, and of course, plenty of high life. To enter, just order a Miller High Life at any participating dive bars in the Madison area and register with the link to the Miller High Life Backyard Dive Bar giveaway. Get a ticket to Dive Bar Glory at your local watering hole, like the Shack Bar and Grill, Mount Vernon Tap, the Wisco, and the Keg in DeForest.
Julie Granger is the president of Junior Achievement of Wisconsin. Julie, your organization has business technology from James Imaging Systems. Yet today, please tell us about Junior Achievement's unique mission.
Junior Achievement of Wisconsin has a mission of inspiring and preparing young people for success in a global economy. We serve students anywhere from kindergarten through 12th grade, and we just started serving young adults 18 to 25.
I understand financial literacy is also an important part of your mission.
Financial literacy is critical to the long-term success of every individual so that they can plan their futures and they can live their dreams.
To help turn those dreams into reality, how can everyone get involved?
We are looking for people who are willing to donate their time, treasure, and talent to the organization.
What's the first step?
The best way to reach us is through our website, wisconsin.ja.org.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
When it comes to your body, you want to trust a doctor, and you want to trust the experts. That's why the only place that you should consider going for GLP-1s and semaglutide is Carbon World Health in Madison, because they're run by Dr. Nestor Rodriguez. They have a workout facility and trainers to help you reach your goals, and they can help with dietary suggestions. The experts for semaglutide and GLP-1s are Carbon World Health. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Dinner just got easier and tastier. Pizza Hut's Ultimate Hut Bundle is here to save the day. Starting at just $24.99, you can get any 2 medium pizzas, 8 boneless wings in your favorite flavor, and your choice of cinnamon, cheese, or breadsticks with 2 dips. Feed the family or wow your friends without breaking the bank. The Ultimate Hut Bundle is only here for a limited time. Hurry in and order online today at pizzahut.com. The Ultimate Hut Bundle. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
No sleep till!
Jim, Matt, Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
That is the lovely duel of Molly Brown and Matt Hamilton in the Everlight Solar Studio. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Primetime Wollersheim. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. We did have a Siding Unlimited poll question already up after the first full day of free agency. Have the Packers lost ground in the NFC? Right now, 53% of you say no. 48% of you say yes. 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless Talk and Text line. List is more. Now, to be fair, it's hard to lose ground with playoff teams when you were the last playoff team in. So, like, the Commanders, they got Laramie Tunsil. Like, they got better.
They're trying to win. That's what it feels like.
Right. Well, they got a quarterback on that rookie scale deal, and they're going out there and trying to get better.
Oh, God.
Who is, Debo. That's who they brought in.
Yeah, they brought in Debo as well.
They were making moves yesterday.
And they haven't paid a heavy price on the as far as draft picks. They've traded away a fair amount, but like realistically, what they've had to give up to get these players is nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But again, when you have the rookie scale QB, and it's just you see some of these teams, Minnesota being one of them now, you are able to build a lot of these deals. Like for example, Chicago, they signed a lot of players to 3-year deals, which are essentially 2-year deals. And so some of the older players, they can get out of these deals in 2 years. Mm-hmm. So if Caleb is the guy, then they'll let those guys walk and they'll have to replace them with younger players, but then they'll have the cap space. And if he's not the guy, you can reset the whole thing. So that's the advantage of building around. The Texans are in a weird spot because the Texans, they seem like they're going backwards right now because they're trading away players and they're about 1 year removed. This might be the last year they can win with C.J. Stroud on a rookie scale deal before having to pay him. But if we look at the rest of the NFC, as far as teams that could be challenging the Packers to take over their spot as the 7 seed, this is where it gets tricky. But let's just run out west here. San Francisco, no. Seattle is...
Are you sure about San Francisco? How do we feel about them after how they lost?
Right now, I would say they are not a threat to take over the Packers. So, I don't know. That would be a complete surprise. San Francisco right now feels like they're in the middle of... They're going to have to take a step back, take a step forward. Anything can happen.
What moves have they made besides getting rid of Deebo Samuel?
They got rid of Deebo Samuel. They
Dre Greenlaw.
Dre Greenlaw, they did not re-sign. Kyle Juszczyk, they're like Pro Bowl halfback, fullback. They let him
Banks.
go. We got Aaron Banks from them, though their offensive line was bad last year.
That was a very malign. Yeah, C was the best grade I saw on that for the Packers.
But then also their offensive line was bad, and they're losing most of their starting offensive linemen.
Yep.
So that could be
they lost
improved.
their left tackle as well because he went to the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
The right tackle.
I saw they
right
signed
tackle,
another tight end, though.
Anyways, I would say the 49ers, I don't think I can say with a straight face that they were primed to jump the Packers. No. The Rams were already in front of them. The Rams got better.
True.
And I think the Rams would be there.
The
Arizona,
Seahawks.
no. The Seahawks, to me, I'm going to put them down as an asterisk of they could be one of the surprise teams. Because DK Metcalf, under your Jair Alexander didn't play much for the Packers last year, so what's the loss? DK did not play that much for Seattle last year.
They also lost Tyler Lockett, who did play.
But that's not a major loss. That's more of hey, we need to make that move. They brought in Sam Darnold from Geno Smith. They have more money to spend, and they have, I think, 8 picks in the top 100. They have a lot of draft capital. I wouldn't today put them in front of the Packers, but if I was going to asterisk a team of, who's a non-playoff team that's going to jump into the playoffs, Seattle's one of them.
I think they're one that you have, your peripheral vision on.
Because here's
if you're a Packer fan.
If you're a Packer fan, you were the 7 seed. So the team that you're worried about is the team that would surprise and come out of nowhere.
Right.
That could be Seattle.
The beauty of that division now is I think there's a clear-cut winner, so you won't see Seattle knocking off a team like the Rams, get the spot for the NFC West, and then lose that wild card spot to the Rams. You're probably just competing with Seattle for that wild card spot.
Out of the West, yeah. Out of the East, the Giants, no. Philadelphia, obviously they were in front of them anyway. Yep. Washington was already in front of them. Dallas, I wouldn't put them in front of them. I put Dallas right where they were. I mean, I'm not making any big jumps for Dallas.
I'm not worried about Dallas.
I think their coaching decision was horrendous, so I would imagine they go backwards.
Yeah, was it not Marty Brian Schottenheimer or something?
Yes, and Marty's son. Yeah,
Marty's son.
And more importantly, they lost so many key members of their staff that went to other teams. That staff was well respected with McCarthy. It was they messed that up with.
And
McCarthy.
they had already lost Dan Quinn and some of the defensive assistants.
They brought in Eberflus, who is fine defensive coordinators.
Wasn't he a coordinator for the Chiefs when they won?
No.
One of the times?
Colts.
You're thinking of
Nagy?
Yeah, you're
He was
thinking
an
of
offensive.
Nagy.
He was not. He
You're
was
right.
quarterback. He was
Old
quarterback
Bears.
coach.
Gotcha.
Not offensive coordinator. But then you go to the South. You got Tampa, who
That one's sneaky.
by all counts they had a good free agency. They brought
They
back
were
a lot
ahead
of
of-
key
they were
players.
ahead of the Packers, though.
Atlanta is a team that I would put as possible. Again, none of these teams, as of today, are in front of them.
Oh, because Atlanta's now rolling with Penix. That's right.
Right, and what do they do with Cousins? So I put them as like a maybe.
Yep.
New Orleans, absolutely not. Am I missing anyone? Is that all the teams?
Panthers?
Panthers, no.
No.
So then I would put, look, there's 3 teams in this setup that I would put down as could be surprise teams, and that's Seattle, Atlanta, Chicago. So I would say the Packers have not lost ground to the teams below them. But I
They
think
haven't
teams
gained any ground.
Well, I think Washington and Philadelphia and Detroit, in my opinion. Like I guess, well, if you want to fight on Detroit, that's fine. I think
Washington for sure
Philadelphia, yes,
stepped away. Philadelphia was so far ahead. Can the Packers even see if they're stepping away anymore or not? Like, has Philadelphia?
They're very far in
they've
the
re-signed a
distance.
bunch of players, so I would say
Again,
Philadelphia
we're back to treading
staying
water. The
plenty
Packers-
far ahead of the Packers.
The Packers feel like a 7th seed. The Rams feel like they've gotten way better than the Packers.
I would agree with that too.
So the Packers feel like a team that has the 7th best chance in the NFC to go to the Super Bowl. Let's
All right, end it right now. Lock up that playoff spot for the Green Bay Packers.
So they haven't lost ground.
The treading water, like I said yesterday.
All right, well.
Matt, whether you're treading water or just floating in the water, I'm sure you enjoy some Kugels.
Yes, and there's so many amazing flavors to choose from. Kugels has a flavor for every moment, whether it's the OG Kugels Original, maybe it's that Northwoods Amber, or the delicious Dark Lager. Kugels has a beer to flavor any moment. Check out Kugels wherever you get delicious beers, and remember, you must be 21 years or older to enjoy.
Jason Wilde next.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
We don't speak about
Speak
her.
about rivals.
We are not rivals. Yeah, me and Kay are not on the same level in the same sense that Matt thinks that the Bears and the Packers aren't on the same level.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Hello, I'm John Hayes, the owner of Goodman's Jewelers. It's been my pleasure to serve this community from this incredible store for over 4 decades. We stand upon high standards and classic traditions, pillars like honesty and integrity. Stop into Goodman's Jewelers, the longest-standing full-service jewelry store in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. I've been drinking ZOA Energy for a while now, and I absolutely love it. ZOA is my go-to beverage when I need a boost without the crash that comes with other energy drinks. It's packed with natural ingredients like vitamin B and C, electrolytes, and has 0 sugar. It fuels my workouts and busy days. I recently had twins, and I have a toddler, so I need all of the energy I can get. Head over to ZOAEnergy.com to find the location nearest to you to pick up some ZOA for yourself. ZOA Energy for balance and drive.
Do you know or work with kids who have special healthcare needs? Help them live their best lives. Contact Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network. Our specialists will connect you with services in your area. Wisconsin Wayfinder is free and confidential. Call 877-947-2929 or visit dhs.wi.gov/WISCWAY. Connect today. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
People want to fantasize about fantasy football and all of the other stuff. Football is a simple game. Win the line of scrimmage on both sides. You're not going to lose many games.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by Grassland Dairy, Home and Lindsay Paints, Coors Light, Made to Chill, and American Family Insurance.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honey's. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honey's to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honey's experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honey's.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Jason, quick
You
question.
are one of one.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
Help me understand a little bit more clearly what you're asking.
Did you ever hear it called "Don't Go Jason Waterfalls"?
Is this Matt Hamilton?
So I kind of just thought of this question on the spot. So it needs to be workshopped a little. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the same as Matt.
Jason Wilde is on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
What's up with that? What's up with that?
We are thrilled to be joined by Jason Wilde here on Jim, Matt, and Molly. And it is actually Jim, Matt, and Molly, so that's always fun. And Jason, how are we doing this afternoon?
I'm thrilled that you're thrilled, and I'm more thrilled that Molly's on the show again. This is it's going to take some getting used to, but I'm very excited about it.
Well, fantastic. And we're excited to be talking with you. And
Yeah, great, Jason. Great.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Matt. Sorry, I didn't know you were there.
We've been the Packers offseason, I would say, I've said they've been treading water. And so we've asked 2 different questions over the last 2 days, and I wanted your thoughts on it. One, after the first full day of free agency, have the Packers lost ground in the NFC? I definitely don't think they've gained ground. Maybe they haven't lost ground. And then we also asked, does Goody deserve the benefit of the doubt? And that one's more of a loaded question because I think that's really about expectations. And if you want to have a team like the Milwaukee Brewers where you're going to be able to enjoy them through the regular season and then lose, Goody deserves the benefit of the doubt. He can build that. So I'll let you hop in on both those.
Well, first of all, great reference on the Brewers and the is it my responsibility to win a title or entertain people from the team president or the owner. I did find that interesting. The full quote is not quite as rough,
right?
Quite frankly, but that he still has. I would think he would know better than that. And I voted in the other poll. I said that they haven't lost ground, but they certainly haven't gained any ground. I mean, I don't know how anybody's voting for gained ground. The fact of the matter is that lots of teams win March.
Yep.
And then they don't win in January and early February. And so he probably does merit the benefit of the doubt. But to your point, and that's why that's a good question, is that, look, he's the one. I keep saying this, and I'm not trying to be a jerk to Goody, but, that press conference after the season, and I understand he was putting a positive spin on the year and talking about growth and improvement and potential and everything else, but it was, I was the one who said, and it was the last question of the press conference, I said, Goody, we've talked a lot about how much your team has grown and improved and whatever else, but you guys lost your last 3. Like, what are you unhappy about? What are you disappointed in? What are you frustrated with? And that is when he made the remark that they need to ramp up their sense of urgency and that it's time for this team to start competing for championships. Well, when you say that, it doesn't just apply to your players. It doesn't just apply to your head coach and his coaching staff. It applies to you too. And, again, I don't have any problem with the 2 moves they made. Now, I really want to see the structure of this Aaron Banks deal. And hopefully he's as good of an athlete as his brother Adam Banks, who was such a crucial pickup for the Mighty Ducks when they improved late in the year, and especially with Goldberg in goal.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, those are fine, solid additions, but they don't scream urgency, right? Davante Adams would have been an urgency move, right? Because he wouldn't have been cheap. He would have been in a position where he could have a significant impact in the game. Trading for Trey Hendrickson would be an urgency move, but I don't foresee those being the case. And my point is that when you make a comment like that, it does have to apply to you. Like, it's great that you believe in draft and develop and everything else, but urgency would tell me that you think that with a couple of pieces you should be playing for a title. And if that's your expectation, then what are you prepared to do to make that a reality?
So, Jason, it was reported.
Hi, Molly.
Hello. It was reported that the Packers actually made no contact with Davante Adams. I know that you've said that.
Yeah, reported by me.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Thanks for reading.
Yes. Now that I can actually read it, I appreciate it. But
Okay.
do you think there's any real chance that the Packers actually make a move at Trey Hendrickson? Is there any hope that we as Packers fans should have?
Probably not. I mean,
not the answer I was looking for, but okay.
I know this. I know Matt LaFleur really likes him, and I'm guessing that I haven't talked to Jeff Hafley in a while, but I'm sure Jeff Hafley likes him because Matt LaFleur. One of the best compliments that Matt LaFleur gives to players is he's about the right stuff. He's made of the right stuff. And that's one of the things that I've heard him say about Trey Hendrickson. So he's made of the right stuff, and the guy's a beast, and he's productive. But again, he's 30 years old, which thank God Ben Wittes and Craig Karmazin and Greg Scalzo and all the people that are in charge of my career don't feel like you're washed after 30 like Goody does, because I'd be in really big trouble. And so. Again, I understand, and I own it that I, have a bias for Davante. He's one of my guys. Obviously, there's probably a reason why I was able to be so on top of that story and have that information. But the bottom line is that guys that are 32 years old can still be really productive, especially if they're Hall of Fame caliber players. And Trey Hendrickson, in the last 4 years, the only people who have more sacks in the league are Myles Garrett, who just got the richest contract for a non-quarterback in NFL history, and T.J. Watt, who we all know has won Defensive Player of the Year awards and is on I think he's probably on a Hall of Fame track just like his brother. So to me, Trey Hendrickson is a guy that's not going to cost you the sun, the moon, and the stars, and can still be productive even though he has celebrated his 30th birthday. So I know the coaches would love him. I know the fans would love him. But again, I just don't know. And I don't want to belabor the point, but this is what I've kind of been saying on all of our shows. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I got people's hopes up about Davante Adams. Now, I will blame Davante for some of that too, because with the stuff he would say on Kay Adams' show and posting that picture of his green and gold shoes in his car with those really nice mats, by the way. I got to get some of those mats. But he got people's hopes up too. And let's be honest, he got his own hopes up.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's very happy with the Rams and staying on the West Coast and everything else, but that feels a little bit like the whole bogus story about, well, the Packers offered him more than the Raiders on his way out the door, but he chose the Raiders. Mm-hmm. No, that's revisionist history. And so in this case, I know he was open to the idea of coming back here. I know he liked the idea of coming back here. He didn't want to paint himself into a corner if the general manager wasn't going to call him. And that was smart of him because the general manager never called.
You mentioned the coaches. I'm curious, how much input do you think that Matt LaFleur has in these decisions during this free agency period?
Not as much as he would like, I'm sure. Right? I don't know how much. Goody cares about what he thinks. Like this is just my opinion. So when Wooly or Pablo or whoever cuts the social media, every time I say something to you three, I get all kinds of blowback on social media between you, you guys, and
That's because
KVN.
we're adding good questions.
Yeah, Oh, Matt, I forgot you were there. By the way, I know Matt's sensitive, so I want to be very clear. I love Matt, even though his texting is intermittent. I love the guy.
He did have a question for you, but I told him that mine was more important, so I did cut him off. So.
Yeah,
fair. We'll get to yours in a second, there, big fella. But I would just say this: I think it strikes me as one of those relationships where Goody talks to him and listens to what he has to say, and it has no influence on what he actually does. That's just my gut feeling. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe their relationship has grown since then. But I think it's kind of like Josh Jacobs coming out and saying they need a new number 1 wide receiver. Like he heard it, he's aware of it, but it's not going to influence him.
Yeah, that's weird. It feels like GMs are like parents buying clothes for their toddlers. Like, if it fits, great. If it doesn't, hopefully you'll grow into it. It's like the coach is the one that should know what players and stuff they need, but the GM's like, hey, this is my job. You just, you do the X's and O's, and I'll give you the personnel.
I buy clothes that fit my kids,
I'm
but
intrigued. Do you have children that I'm unaware of?
No. I was drawing back on my memories of getting shirts that were too big, and be like, you'll grow into it.
Well, that's different.
Now that's all right. I thought maybe there was going to be an announcement coming, and then you were going to be on paternity leave for 6 months, and I never.
6 months.
That's what it would be for me. Yeah.
It'd be twice as long as mine.
It felt like if you had done this show as often as I did this show, it would have felt like 6 months to you too. But I would say this. It's actually not a bad analogy. I would say it's more like a chef who doesn't have any say in any of the groceries. It's like one of those cooking shows where they just give you the ingredients.
Oh, like Chopped.
Go make. Right, Chopped. Exactly. I love that show. So I'm not saying they don't have conversations, but like, and by the way, you're bringing back some flashbacks for me, like to my mom getting me husky-sized Tough Skins jean pants from Sears. So don't ever do that to your kids, Molly. Dress them up really nicely. Don't, because then they end up like me and they just dress in hoodies and shorts all the time.
So, Jason, you had mentioned earlier how you don't think the Packers have necessarily gained ground, maybe not lost any ground yet either. Is there any chance – I shouldn't say chance. Rephrase. Outside of Hendrickson, are there any players that the Packers could go out and get, whether it be via trade, the obvious ones, or people still in free agent that would maybe have those Packers take that step forward, maybe jump the 6th seed, whoever that may be, the Rams or somebody?
Yeah. I mean, look, there's always guys, right? I mean, the old saying that Ron Wolf used to have and Ted Thompson as well about the draft was, there's always good players when you pick. You just have to pick the right one. And no one bats 1,000 on it. But, Jace Sternberger, the memorable 3rd-round tight end from Texas A&M, who they drafted like 75th maybe. The next pick was Terry McLaurin, who has been an outstanding wide receiver in Washington, right? So, they picked the wrong guy. He had a Pro Bowl caliber wide receiver stare him in the face. Guy went in the next pick, and you picked a guy that plays in the UFL or whatever they call that now. I don't know if there's going to be big name guys that Matt Hamilton will look and go, oh yeah, I watched him in this game and this guy's great. But in fairness, whether your name's Matt Hamilton or Jason Wilde or Jim Rutledge or Molly Brown, like, how much did you know about Zadarius Smith before they signed him?
Yeah,
I didn't know anything about him.
Yep.
Like, immediately in 2019, I immediately went to the Google machine and started looking him up, and I saw that he'd had 8.5 sacks the previous season. Those are the kind of guys that Goody wants in free agency, right? The guys and both of these guys fit that suit. They were 2021 draft picks. They played 4 years because they were non-first-round picks for both of their teams. Aaron Banks was a second-round pick. Nate Hobbs was a 5th-round pick out of Illinois. They played out their 4 years. They hit free agency. They certainly have not peaked yet. The guys like Devontae and Cooper Kupp, who've already had a second contract, those are not the guys he's going to be interested in. That's why when I, start doing the Devontae 2 electric boogaloo dance here for Trey Hendrickson, I'm probably just howling at the moon. It's probably not going to happen because, again, he's 30 years old. He's already had his second contract. He's in the final year of that. If you trade for him, you're going to have to pay him. His number, while maybe not as big as Max Crosby's, is still going to be big. And those are all things that I start to add up and go, well, that's not happening. That's not how Goody does business.
So this kind of circles back to the benefit of the doubt for Goody, but it looks like and
totally does.
Chicago is not Green Bay as far as they run things, but it looks like Ben Johnson was able. Some of those players had ties to him. He was able to point and say, "Hey, I want a couple of these guys. I know them. Let's bring these players in." And the GM got to pick a few of his as well. I see a report here that from Michael Silver in the Vikings organization, Kevin O'Connell's opinion carries the most weight when it comes to QB decisions. So we understand how Goody wants to do things, but LaFleur is the one that has to win football games, and it's a cool feather in your cap to be the youngest team year in and year out, but the Eagles...
Is it?
I don't know. I'd know the Eagles are a leveraged team with a bunch of vets, but also a mix of youngsters in there. The Chiefs have been able to walk this, so it seems like the best teams understand that vets serve a purpose more than just on the field, but in the locker room, in games, providing leadership. And LaFleur especially, because I think Rodgers said maybe he's not an alpha, but even a coach like LaFleur, who is a good leader, could use more vets in the room to add to his voice, and it seems like Goody just completely ignores the fact that veterans do have presence and leadership and can help teams win. And I'm wondering if there's ever a point where a divide could come between those two.
Yeah, it's a good point, Jim. I mean, look, another example of a free agent that he signs, Xavier McKinney was 25 years old. He had just played only 4 years with the Giants, who were inexplicably stupid enough to let him out the door, which, by the way, didn't I see them sign a safety from the Dolphins today?
Yeah.
Talk about admitting that you completely botched that.
Yeah.
Between letting him and Saquon out of the door, I still can't believe Joe Shane has a job. But to your point, here's my argument. Extremes are bad.
Yes.
Right? If Jason Wilde was the general manager of the Green Bay Packers, Brian Bulaga would still be the right tackle. Jordy Nelson would still be running pass routes. Aaron Rodgers would still be the quarterback. Hell, Dorsey Levens might be the starting running back. Right? I like veteran players.
Yeah.
I think there's value in experience. But if I'm running the team, they're screwed. Right? Because you can't have we can't run a 48-year-old Mark Tauscher out there to play right tackle. But at the same time, the other extreme is maybe not as dangerous, but it's also still fraught with pitfalls, right? Young teams, and he's at the extreme. I mean, let's be honest about what they are. They have one player who's celebrated his 30th birthday. One, and he's the kicker, who they brought in after he had tried young players at that position, and he finally said, you know what, I can't do it here at this spot. Elton Jenkins is going to turn 30, right? Are they going to give him a third contract? He's got this year and next year left on his deal. If they're moving him to center, are they going to pay him again? Now, I would like to think that you give him, like a 3-year, you kind of tear up the 26th year of the contract. You give him a 3-year extension, so he's under contract for 25, 26, 27, 28. You give him a bunch of guaranteed money, and then that's it with him. You don't give him, 4 or 5 years. You don't do that, but you give him 3 more years added on. But I don't know if he'll do that, because I also find myself wondering if Goody, with every extension that he does, questions whether they're worth it, right? Jair Alexander, Rashawn Gary, David Bakhtiari, Kenny Clark. Look, nobody loves Kenny Clark more than me. He's one of my favorite guys. He's won our Mully Award twice. He was a really, really good player in a 3-4. He had not played any defense other than a 3-4 system going back through high school, college, and the NFL. He was not good enough last year. He will tell you that because that's the kind of guy he is. So is that a scheme thing? In another year in this system and using him differently, will he be more productive? I don't know. But if I'm Goody and I'm looking at what I've done in terms of second/third contracts, Bakhtiari was the third contract. Kenny Clark was the third contract. I don't think he's probably feeling good about his return on either of those investments. So, again, I don't expect him to be suddenly, a guy that's thinking, we need to add a guy that has been in the league and really, like, the fact that he didn't talk to Devontae shouldn't surprise any of us. I had that sneaking suspicion all along. That's why I kept saying, this is great that we think this is a good idea, but maybe Goody doesn't. I look at Julius Peppers and Ted adding him in 14. They went to NFC Championship games 2 of the 3 years he was on the team. Yep. Now, if he hadn't told, the safety Morgan Burnett to lay down after the interception, maybe he'd have played in the Super Bowl. But there are guys that have that value, and I just fundamentally disagree with Goody. I agree with him that it's a young man's game. I agree with him that most of your roster, the vast majority of your roster, should be young. But I don't think sprinkling in 3, 4, or 5 out of the 70 players you get to carry with 17 practice squad guys and 53 on the active roster, I don't think having 4 or 5 guys that are over 30 that really have been there, done that, and bought the T-shirt that can really help you, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Great stuff, Jason. We appreciate it.
All right, guys, it's great to be back with all 3 of you, especially you, Matt. All right, guys, take care. Be good.
All right, that's Jason Wilde. You missed that. You can listen back Wisconsin on Demand, Apple, Spotify, any of those great places. It's Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
Hey, this is Matt's Chicago Doppelganger. You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN Madison.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC. Max Glesman appearing to practice with the team again. The Neenah product recovering from an ankle injury, missing the last 3 games. During his latest appearance on the Jump Around Digital Show, here's Nolan Winter on Klesmet's impact.
He's just one of the dudes that even when he's out, he's still having the presence like he's there. He's yelling at us from the bench, trying to coach as best as he can. So he's itching to get back out there. So I know whenever the doctor gives him even like a little yellow, maybe green in his light, he's ready to go out there and he's going to give it his all. He loves the state of Wisconsin, so he can't wait to go out and compete.
Wisconsin tips off Big Ten tourney play Thursday.
Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
They did it again. For the 5th time, Siding Unlimited, the 30-year-old Wisconsin family-owned company, is the Pella Window and Door Company's Platinum Premier Certified Contractor of the Year in the whole USA. Siding Unlimited is here in Madison with a dynamic outside-in showroom. See Siding Unlimited's window, door, roofing, deck, and other great outside stuff inside at 2018 South Stoughton Road, south of Buckeye. See Siding Unlimited's frequent Instagram posts or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, Your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Text line 844-770-3776. 920 chimes in. Oh, Ryan and Fort. Fort Atkinson. Ryan and Fort. That's where I was. I lived in Fort Atkinson until I was 10. Anyway.
That is neat.
That is neat.
It is neat. I'm trying to connect with our listeners. Ryan and Fort chimes in. What has building through the draft over the last 25 years done? Only one Super Bowl. It's time to try something different.
I don't think he's wrong.
Now, and we can talk about on the other side, in life, almost always agree with the idea that the issue is in the extreme. That if you're all one thing, you're probably a problem. And just like
trying to Buddha this.
Right, but if you are...
Take the middle way.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's also like the smart way to... Like, if someone is all... Like, if I'm just going to be all this thing all the time, if I'm Goody, I'm going to be all drafting young players all the time, and I'm just going to live my life by this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like... I have to take some of the stuff you say with a grain of salt because at this point it's your entire personality and way of being, as opposed to if you're like even like 75 or 70% one way, but understanding like there's a case to be made for the other side of it. Like that's the way that whether you're living your life or running a football team, you don't want to be in the extremes unless it comes to going to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. You could go there every day and it's going to be fine. You can say hi to Lee and Kevin every day. Go get an old fashioned, a Coors Light. You can go get a steak sandwich, cheeseburger, all part of the Sizzle, Swizzle, and Swirl happy hour. We have a great time every time we go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Jim, Matt, and Molly continues on the other side.
Matt Hamilton here for Leinekugels, the craft beer that showcases a commitment to tradition and quality, founded in 1867 in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. No matter where I'm at, on the ice, on my boat, or if I'm just watching the big game, I always have a Leine's in my hand. Whether it's the refreshing summer shandy, the smooth honey vice, or my personal favorite, the juicy peach, there's a delicious flavor for every moment. Pick it up wherever you get delicious beer, but remember, you gotta be 21 years or older to enjoy.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center Update, brought to you by The Jump Around, ESPN Madison's Badgers-dedicated digital show. Join hosts Jim Rutledge and Pablo Iglesias, plus Badgers forward Nolan Winter as a special featured guest. New episodes debut Thursdays at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Also catch Nolan Winter's special appearance early this week. Catch him on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. His full interview will be posted there tomorrow around noon. And then speaking of the Badgers, two Badgers getting all Big Ten recognitions today as John Tonje named the first team all Big Ten squad, and John Blackwell, the sophomore, receiving an honorable mention. Tonje also listed amongst multiple lists about the most impactful transfer in college basketball this offseason. Head over to ESPNWisconsin.com for more about the Badgers heading into their first game in the Big Ten tournament this Thursday around 1:30 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. Also tune into the Jumper on that day as we lead you up until tip-off of that game. Green Bay Packers, yesterday's free agent move signing guard Aaron Banks and cornerback Nate Hobbs Packers, any remaining moves out there for him? Listen back to Jason Wilde as he just appeared on Jim, Matt, and Molly a few moments ago. Second hour starts now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's gonna swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
We got Homer, Matt Hamilton.
Yeah.
We have
Pessimist Molly.
No. Realist.
And then contrarian.
Total.
Jim Rutledge here.
I wouldn't say I'm a wino by any means.
That's not really the term. But
Yeah.
All right. Wino?
No, wino's like somebody that likes wine.
Maybe you're just not hip to the jive like us young cats, right, Molly?
And to be fair, it's a
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Hour number 2 live from the Everlight Solar Studio. It is so nice to look out into the bullpen and see sun. We are presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that's Crush.
A Coors Light.
Maybe the next time we're on the road, we can start doing shows outside.
Ooh.
You were excited about that one. Yeah, I like that, though. It's about that time where we can start being outside to eat meals, things like that. It's getting to the good time, which is always weird because I see people put out like, 25 more Sundays till football. I'm like, man, I love football, and I know football starts in like September, so you still got like September, October are elite, and November is okay. But like September, October are awesome. August, like I understand all those months, but like I, especially on March 11th, don't want to throw away the spring and summer. So I'd like to embrace those. I understand. Like, I was talking to my brother yesterday. We have two things can be true. We can be very excited about the moves the Bears made, but also have the, okay, but you got to prove it to me sort of aspect to it. But at the same time, we're going to allow ourselves to get a little bit excited about this team could be a 9-win team next year, and this team could be an ascending team finally. But at the same, we were also move the conversation to the Cubs and the Brewers about our teams because it's like, let's enjoy the summer though. Like, we'll put this on pause. This is a nice little hit of football. You get a little bit here in March, and then in April you get another little hit,
and then July.
Then you take a little bit of a break. But July's not quite as much. Like, there's kind of pads running around and stuff. Like, they hit the final hit for me is more in August.
I love July. Knowing that I almost said spring training. Knowing that training camp is right around the corner, and then it starts right at the end of July, and it's like football's back, baby.
Yeah.
And then you go through like August, and it's like, all right.
You start hearing about how like your favorite player's in the best shape of his life, and how you think they're going to be impactful that season, and then they turn out to be Amari Rodgers.
Yep. I'm glad I'm not you. No offense.
And none taken.
844-770-3776 is how you get into the show. That's the Cardinals Talking text line. List is more. Our Siding Limited poll question popping off 145 votes already after the first full day of free agency. What did you do?
Okay.
Like, that's sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I just didn't expect it.
Have the Packers lost ground in the NFC? 57% of you say yes. 43% of you say no, staying put / going up. You can't say going up. If you
I
want,
was voting for staying put.
I
hold
know.
on. Oh wow, that is crazy. That is skewed that much because the staying put and going up was in the lead.
Yeah, it is really dramatically changed there, but.
We have the same poll question on our YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
Those results are kind of interesting too. Yes, fallen behind at 69%, and no at 31%.
I like that number.
Ooh.
And look,
so everyone thinks we're falling behind.
Fan bases can be upset. I see here that, obviously 49er fans are really up in arms. Debo Samuel, Josh Dobbs, not that that matters a ton, Elijah Mitchell, Jalen Moore, Dre Greenlaw, I don't know the center's name or the safety's name. They lost their starting safety.
Ward?
No.
that was a corner.
Charvarius Ward also gone, and then Aaron Banks gone. Like, those are all starters, key players off their team from last year. So, but sometimes you just have to reshuffle the deck. And so the 49ers are probably not a team that will surprise. But I think Packer fans were hoping for, and this is partially Goody's fault. He said, paraphrasing, but like, we have to be like urgency. We have to move with urgency. Nothing outside of trading for Trey Hendrickson, nothing they can do unless there's some wild trade we don't know about.
Cup.
That's still not a ton of urgency.
I mean, he to me, I
he's
don't
a
think
guy
he's
that nobody
quite
wants to trade for.
Devontae,
So it's not.
But he's
The league
nowhere
says he's
near
not
Devontae.
close. Because the Rams said, Cooper, you get paid the same amount of money as Devontae, you can go. And we'll take the cap hit, and we'll rather have Devontae. The league is saying Cooper Kupp is a nice player. The league says we won't even trade. Christian Kirk got a 7th-round pick. The league is saying we won't trade you anything for Cooper Kupp. So Cooper Kupp is not it's another nice move. It is not keeping up with the Joneses or establishing high level of play.
Yes,
move.
I think if you put Cooper Kupp on this offense right now, he is the undisputed number 1 wide receiver on the team.
No. Let's ask that
Oh,
question.
I think he is. How do you say no?
Who?
You still go. I think you guys are
Reed,
overinflating
Wicks?
Kupp.
Who do you think? I think you're overinflating the other guys.
That's an interesting. That might be a good poll question. We might have stumbled into.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Let's ask the question.
No, yeah, I was agreeing with you. Jim.
Okay, yeah, okay. 844-770-3776. The Cardinals Talk text line list is more. Second side of the limited poll question. Matt Hamilton says Cooper Kupp would be the Packers' number 1 wide receiver if they sign him. Do you agree or disagree? 844-770-3776.
So right now, Cooper Kupp last season, Grant, there was injury there.
How many games did he miss? Do you know that off the top of your head?
Not off the top of my head. I would guess it's like 6 games. Could be less.
Okay.
He had about the same amount of yards as Reed on 67 catches, so he had 710 yards, 10 touchdowns, average 10.6 per reception.
So where does that rank? I mean, you might
that puts him like number 2 on the team because I think Reed technically had more yards.
But Reed also played
more games.
Yes.
Cooper Kupp played 12 games last year, started 11, so maybe more like 11 and a half if we're just roughly gauging it.
So based on that, like he would clearly, if he played all 17 games, which is a big if.
I can't believe I'm the one here that you. Here's the thing: you are screwed beyond belief if he's your number 1 because Jaden Reed should. If Cooper Kupp is the guy you add, Jaden Reed should clearly be the number 1, or you are in trouble.
Well, I think what happens is it starts out with Cooper Kupp is treated like the number 1 by the defenses, and Reed might have an opportunity.
Again, you're over at Cooper Kupp was successful because he wasn't the number 1 guy with the Rams last year. Nakua would have been.
Yeah, but Puka was also hurt too. That's when they were struggling, wasn't it?
That was
right?
when they were struggling.
both
They were
hurt at the
both
same
injured,
time.
yeah, early
But then
in the
when they
season.
were both back,
When the Packers played them.
The Packers played them.
Let
they're
us
both
not
out.
forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying. I don't think it's that crazy to say. I'm
It's not a
more
game-changing-
saying that he is more. That's how kind of low I think this wide receiver room has fallen in my eyes. That Cooper Kupp could join this team at a 31-year-old man or 32-year-old man and be the number 1.
I mean,
outright.
Devontae Adams is the same age.
Well, I know, but it still doesn't change the
Cooper
fact.
Kupp is no Devontae.
I understand. I'm not saying he is.
Puka Nakua played 11 games last year and caught 79 passes. So, like, they're not on the same level as far as the importance to the offense. He played in
got
less games.
67 to 79 in 11 games. They both played 11. That was pretty.
No, Cooper Kupp played 12 games, started 11. I don't know the starting number for Puka, but Puka played 11 games and caught 12 more passes for over 230 yards more.
Yeah,
Puka
Puka's
Nakua
good.
is the driving force.
I wasn't saying that Cooper Kupp was the number 1 on the Rams.
But if he's the number 2 on the Rams and comes to be the number 1 on the Packers, you have problems. And then if your problem is here, let's just pull it full circle.
Okay,
right, but let's go.
it is problems, but that's facts. You just said facts.
Okay, but I'm going to finish the facts here. Well, what is not the fact? Because again, you are way underestimating Jaden Reed here. I can't believe I'm the one that has to defend it. Because here's the other part of it: if you believe that Cooper Kupp instantly would arrive on the Packers to be the number one wide receiver, then Goody should be fired for not getting Devontae Adams or Godwin or anyone else out there because
those are urgent
31-year-olds.
No one's disagreeing with that.
That's what we've wanted.
But then you have bigger problems.
Yeah, our wide receiver room is not deep and it's not very good. Yeah.
You are
We're aware.
It's
That's
deep,
why we
and I think
watched
it's-
Devontae.
I think you're getting caught up in fantasy. Cooper Kupp is not a game-changing player.
I think he's more of a game-changing player in the sense that he brings a sense of leadership and veteranship.
Oh, so then the
Veteranship?
Packers want no.
Veteranship.
What?
Veteran leadership?
Yeah, yeah, there we go. That's perfect words. But that's that's exactly what I thought Devontae was going to bring, but I do believe that Devontae Adams is better than Cooper Kupp. Does that make sense? But here's what I also think is if they did pick up Cooper Kupp, and who knows if they even would, but if they did, I could see him being the leading guy to start the season, and then I could see Jaden Reed taking over as the number one. I could see that. But last year, what was our biggest complaint? It's that nobody wanted to make the jump to be the clear, obvious
Plus
number
a guy
one.
that absolutely knows how to run a route in Cooper Kupp, that would certainly be helpful for Jordan Love.
9, 12, and 12. Let's not forget that part of it, too. That's the amount of games he's played over the last 3 years.
Yeah,
so you've
he's
got to
very
count on a
injury
guy
prone.
not being
Incredibly
there.
injury prone. Yes, 100%.
Again, I would honestly, I don't know what signing Cooper Kupp is so outside of anything, and basically I would assume Goody had a stroke based off of all the things that Goody operates with this team. Cooper Kupp is the antithesis of what the Packers would want.
How much money would Cooper Kupp be looking at?
But this wouldn't even be a money thing. This would be a opportunity thing because Cooper Kupp would then, in Goody's mind, take away opportunity from Dontavian Wicks and Heath and Bo Melton,
Yeah.
and so he wouldn't want it for that reason.
But I want to compare it to Devontae Adams because if it's similar, I'll be pissed that they pick up Cooper Kupp versus Devontae Adams.
I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll be similar.
Like a contract for Cooper?
Yeah, I'm just curious what does that number look like for him versus Devontae Adams? I don't know. I think that's worth noting.
It's far less.
Yeah, he's a second, third year
significantly
player.
less.
If he was like a
Okay.
free agent right now, he'd be a second or third wave guy.
Well, if he had a better track record of lack of injury, of being available, I think he.
But that's real. That's part of the conversation at the end of the
100%.
day.
100%.
So, a couple comments. JB from the V chimes in. Coop would be a de facto number one. None of the receivers on our team are actual number ones. Let's keep it real. Andy and Madison says, Andy, I like you, but you're way off here. Check the tape. Coop is cooked.
Matt, I like you.
What'd I say?
You said Andy. You just said the guy's
Matt.
name.
Yeah, like they
Matt,
were
yeah.
responding to
Yeah.
each other on our text line. I was like, impressive.
Matt, I like you, but you are very off here. Coop is done. Check the tape. So you got one yes, one no.
They might be right. I'm not saying. What I'm saying is that is a guy who has been probably the top wide receiver in the league as far as yards. I believe in 21 he had 1,900 yards. The guy, he knows how to play football and run routes. Like he adds that veteran leadership that we're all saying the Packers wide receiver room needs. I'm not saying that this guy would come in and be the number one all season. I'm kind of with Molly. I think he's one of those guys that goes out there and is a presence for the first half of the season, and the second
Can I
half,
tell you what
he's a useful number two.
You know
if
what
he's
he
still
is?
healthy.
Especially since 2021, he's fallen off a cliff as far as overall production. He's just signing Randall Cobb.
How much does that have to do, too, with Matthew
Randall
Stafford?
Cobb never got to 700 after we talked about it.
What about Matthew Stafford being hurt, too, for some of that time as well?
I mean,
he
there's
wasn't
something
healthy
to
the
it,
whole
but the
time.
last 3 years he's missed significant time and hasn't cracked like 800 yards in 3 seasons. So like,
it's the injury.
I didn't realize he was
I understand.
that injury prone. I know last year he had an issue.
He hasn't played a full season since that year.
It's 20 yeah,
since
his
2021,
record-breaking year.
and also the 2020 he didn't play a full season. He's only played one full season.
Hey, neither is Hobbs. You know what? Maybe Goody just likes guys that haven't played full seasons.
Do you think Hobbs is CB1? Is this how bad it is that we think that Cooper Kupp and Nate Hobbs are going to be starting perimeter players?
He's not CB1. We know who CB1 is.
Yes,
Hobbs
Jaden Reed and Keyshawn Nixon are guys. They're number one on both sides of the ball.
Even just hearing that makes me nervous.
That Keyshawn Nixon's the starting corner?
No. That
CB1?
If we take Kupp, that he is not the number one wide receiver.
I agree with Jim. He is not the number one receiver.
Okay.
Jaden Reed is definitely better than him.
I mean, I love Jaden Reed, and I want him to be the number one. Don't get me
You
wrong.
are in so much trouble if it's not Reed next year. Reed should make a big
Well, we
jump.
want it to be Reed.
And the other thing is that like Reed and Cup play almost exactly the same position.
Yes, that's it.
And they would not really be on the field. They couldn't be on the field.
This is why Devontae was the better ad, because then you could have allowed Reed to be kind of a gadgety player. Because then if you had Adams and Dobbs, so if you were going to reach...
Right, and it's not even a gadgety player necessarily. If he's playing the Cooper Kupp role, that's not even a gadget. That's a true like feature slot
You're right.
receiver.
I don't mean as gadgety. But I also think of like St. Brown and Samuel, where they are.
Those guys are feature players.
Right. Feature is probably a better word, because you are creating plays for them. I gadget because some of these plays are a little bit out of the box, and there could be a running side of things too. And again, let's not sleep on Reed. Was involved with some running plays this year, so he has that aspect of it.
To be honest.
Probably. He's not Samuel. They cannot make him Debo Samuel. That's not who he is. St. Brown would almost be a better comp for how to be used for Reed, because he's a little bit of a smaller player. He's not too small, but again, under 6 feet. But if you were going to go with a vet that would kind of fit a need, that would be inexpensive, that probably is toast, but maybe take a shot on, it would be like Amari Cooper.
Diggs.
If Hopkins decides to play football.
Diggs is still injured.
Yeah, Diggs is probably the same timeline of Watson. You want
Mike
a guy
Williams? He's an outside guy?
Stop dancing around who it should be, guys. We know the 3 letters. Say them. Say them with me.
Yeah, that's true.
M-V-S. There we go.
God.
It's going to happen.
Well, how much money was he getting? Because who was he last with? I know he was with the Chiefs, but then where did he go?
Saints. He went after he
Bills
got let
and
go.
then Saints.
What was he? He's been on 3 teams?
Well, he was on 2 teams last year. He
Yeah.
started the season with the Bills, was let go, and then ended up with the Saints, and actually kind of popped off with the Saints. But that was because they had absolutely zero other options.
When
Chris
he left-
Olave got hurt, and they needed just a body.
How much was he getting paid with the Saints?
Not much.
Peanuts. The Chief, like his first year with the Chiefs, I think was his basically career year. 42 catches, 687 yards, and 2 touchdowns. MVS is honestly MVS is the more likely signing, because MVS just allows you to tread water. That you have MVS until Christian Watson gets back, which I think
is probably
Goody,
around Thanksgiving. So
that's Goody's preference. That let's just get a guy in here, and then if MVS is popping off, we can just wait on Christian Watson. And if he's not any good, you can just dump him because he's not going to be expensive.
Let me read these numbers for you guys. 8 games with the Saints last year. He had 35 targets, 17 catches, very MVS line. But he also had 385 yards and 4 touchdowns, averaged 22.6 yards per reception. For 8 games until Christian Watson comes back, that might be the perfect fill-in.
I agree.
And do you have faith that Christian Watson is going to be peak Christian Watson performance
Unlikely.
right when he comes back?
Unlikely.
Not a chance.
I guess I get where Matt's coming from, maybe not believing in the Packers receivers, but between Dobbs and Reed, Cooper Kupp being the number one would really be a problem. Because the other part of it is you have Musgrave, who I do think is going to be a guy who is, as long as he's helpful, not Musgrave, Kraft. Kraft, you do have Musgrave, but Kraft is the guy I'm thinking of, that he's going to come in, and I think he's going to be that security blanket. And I think that you're going to see a lot of that from the Packers. And so what you kind of need is an outside guy, because if you have to replace Christian Watson, so now if you had an outside player with Dobbs, you can use Reed as a weapon and a specialty player, an impact player, and then you have Kraft as the guy who's getting those, hey, I need 5 yards, let's throw it to Tucker Kraft. So
yeah,
it's really honestly so bad for the Packers if Cooper Kupp comes in and he's the number one guy. And maybe the receivers are not as good as I think they are for the Packers, but I think it would be bad news.
Last year was our receivers' chance, our current receivers' chance to show us who is the guy. And nobody took that step.
They flatlined.
So, that's the thing is, the reason I'm bullish on Cooper a little bit is the fact that he has shown that he has been the guy.
I think if you're going to be bullish on someone, the one that would make more sense would be like Cooper or Williams or an outside guy.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, the more I talk about it, the more I'm into Williams.
I love it. You talk like this is free agency. You just talk yourself into
well,
players.
I could talk myself into any wide receiver acquisition. At least it makes me feel like Goody is aware of an issue that maybe it's just my perception. Goody clearly thinks our guys are good enough. He rolled with them last year, made the playoffs with them. Whether that's good enough or not, that's up to the fans. But it's clearly for Goody if he's not going out and getting a guy.
For over 35 years, J&K has been Madison's trusted name in security. Whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, they are your one-stop shop for all things security. From cutting-edge intercom systems for your office to simply replacing that old lock on your front door, they've got you covered. With a network of top-tier suppliers, they create customized solutions tailored just for you. At J&K, customer service is their top priority, and your peace of mind is always their mission. Visit them today at jksecurity.com and experience the J&K difference. Your home, your business, their priorities. Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Who just Who was that?
That was Molly.
Okay.
Molly's a snorter, and she makes weird noises when she laughs.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Julie Granger is the president of Junior Achievement of Wisconsin. Julie, your organization has business technology from James Imaging Systems. Yet today, please tell us about Junior Achievement's unique mission.
Junior Achievement of Wisconsin has a mission of inspiring and preparing young people for success in a global economy. We serve students anywhere from kindergarten through 12th grade, and we just started serving young adults 18 to 25.
I understand financial literacy is also an important part of your mission.
Financial literacy is critical to the long-term success of every individual so that they can plan their futures and they can live their dreams.
To help turn those dreams into reality, how can everyone get involved?
We are looking for people who are willing to donate their time, treasure, and talent to the organization.
What's the first step?
The best way to reach us is through our website, wisconsin.ja.org.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Being a Pella consultant means helping people build their dreams.
Customers really appreciate just how prepared we are. All the samples, the videos, pictures.
We are with you from start to finish. You literally have a friend from beginning to end and beyond with your project.
Our Pella team simplifies the process, taking time to listen and find the right solution for you. And right now, get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2025.
Dinner just got easier and tastier. Pizza Hut's Ultimate Hut Bundle is here to save the day. Starting at just $24.99, you can get any 2 medium pizzas, 8 boneless wings in your favorite flavor, and your choice of cinnamon, cheese, or breadsticks with 2 dips. Feed the family or wow your friends without breaking the bank. The Ultimate Hut Bundle is only here for a limited time. Hurry in and order online today at pizzahut.com. The Ultimate Hut Bundle. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
coming out, he's 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 coming out. It's there.
AC Natosa chiming in. Jim Rutledge, Packer analysis, once again spot on today. Appreciate that.
AC, you don't need to kiss his boots.
We all agree on this one. It needs an outside. He said basically you need an outside guy, and we all agree that the Packers need is an outside guy because then that can allow Reed to be free to be a little more of a weapon.
Okay. Yep.
Matt Hamilton, Molly Brown, Jim Rutledge with you. We're in the Everlight Solar Studio. 844-770-3776 is the Carl was talking text line. List is more. Let's get the Z and the D. What's going on?
Z.
Hey, Z.
Guys, it's been a minute.
Yes.
We had the full crew is back, so I'm grateful for that.
Me too.
Let's play a little blind resume.
All right.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. This receiver in the last 6 years, he's had 70 receptions, 108 receptions, 66, 106, and 100. He's also had 7 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns. He's also played 15, 13, 10, 16, 14, 16. And does anyone have an idea who I'm talking about?
Is he a free agent?
You can't look it up. You got to make a
I'm
guess.
not looking up the number. I'm not going to look up all the numbers he just rattled off. I'm just looking at some of the free agents.
DeAndre Hopkins.
He is a free agent, or will be a free agent, or is a free agent. I'll give you that. He's on the market officially.
How many games did he play in the last season?
16.
The last season he played 15.
T. Higgins? I feel like
I think that's
short.
Amari Cooper. Nope.
I'm wrong too then. All right.
Nicole Hardman Jr.?
This guy has helped brought up a good, young, talented quarterback that was in Jordan Love's QB class.
Keenan Allen.
And now he helps. You are correct, my friend. So I'm believing that Keenan Allen is that piece that will help the Packers with the roster that they have constructed. Now, you don't need him to be Keenan Allen of old. He can help Jordan Love develop into a great quarterback. You saw him do it with Justin Herbert. He helped Caleb Williams when he could. At times, Caleb was running like with the chicken with his head cut off because he had no O-line. But Keenan Allen, I think, is a great guy. I mean, he's got 744 yards. I mean, he's constantly getting you around 65, 70 receptions. Who was the number one receiver on the Packers this year? What was it, 51 receptions by Jalen Reed?
It was Reed.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So if you throw in Keenan Allen and he still gets you, his peak year is at 108. If he just gives you 3/4 of that, you're already at 75, 70 receptions. He's already ahead of the number one receiver for the Packers. I see why not. And also, he knows Caleb Williams. He probably knows his twerks. And if we're talking about the Chicago Bears getting much better, what's better than having a little inside trader on 2 games that you know you're going to be playing against the Bears?
Z, all great stuff. We appreciate the call. Keenan Allen is one that, again, is Cooper Kupp level. He's not going to be expensive. My understanding was that Chicago was it was either Chicago or back out west were kind of his 2 choices of, like, he doesn't want to add another team. So, like, hey, if Chicago wanted to run it back, he'd stay there. Otherwise, just go back west. Maybe he'd go to Green Bay. I think he would be similar to Kupp. He's a guy that gets open. By all accounts, a good teammate.
Yeah.
By all accounts, a good but, he's not the outside guy. But he is, I would call him on par with Cooper Kupp.
He's not an outside guy?
No, Allen's a power slot. Ideally, he's a slot.
He's the kind of, like, Devontae would play outside, but in Green Bay, at least, like, played half his snaps in the slot. Allen's a little more like that, where you'd probably play, like, 2/3 of his snaps in the slot.
I don't remember seeing Allen outside much. So
with the Bears last year, I don't know exactly what it was like because Dunze and DJ Moore are clear outside receivers.
Yeah.
But I know with the Chargers, they moved him around a little bit more.
Yeah, my understanding is last year with the Chargers, he was inside a lot just because
I think that
was the year he had 108 receptions.
His athleticism and all the other stuff has kind of failed from him. Here's why he's inside. He's a great blocker.
He turns 33 probably in 2 months.
Yeah, again.
It's funny that all these guys are the same age.
It's not like
Three that
a
we've talked about.
program, but it's a smart decision in theory. But again, if Christian Watson gets back, they're going to want to put him in there. But Keenan Allen's a smart blocker, good teammate, gets open. He dropped more passes last year than he had in a while, but otherwise it's been a pretty good.
He'll fit right in.
Do you think that either? I know you mentioned the two teams that he's willing to go back to. Do you think that either of those are? If that's still the case, do you think that either of those teams are even interested in bringing him back?
I don't think Chicago is. Just because I think Chicago, if I'm betting that Tim Patrick from the Lions, I feel like Ben Johnson's going to get a chance to pick their third receiver because they got Cole Kmet, they got DJ Moore, they got Roma Dunze. I think they want those players to be featured more, and I think that they would rather just kind of walk away from him. And again, the money-wise,
his last contract was $20 million a year.
He's not going to get that.
No.
But, and I guess I wouldn't be blown away if they bring him back, but I think that's going to be one that's going to be later down the road. We're going to get the break here in a second. Let me tell you first about Carbon World Health. I went out, worked out there yesterday, did some cryo today. The thing at Carbon World Health is they can help you be the best you, whether it's cryotherapy, red light therapy, working out, GLP-1s, hormones, whatever it is, go see the team at Carbon World Health. You also can go to their location in Sun Prairie for some of their med spa side of things as well. CarbonWorldHealth.com is the site. I want to take a pause here and just say rest in peace to Junior Bridgman. Just passed away. He was a Milwaukee Bucks legend. He played college ball at Louisville. Made no more than $350,000 at the most as an NBA player in one season. But in Milwaukee, turned that money into a Coca-Cola distributorship, owning fast food restaurants. I think Wendy's he owned Ebony Magazine, he owned Jet Magazine, was a billionaire at the last Forbes, billionaire sort of magazine there. And he had just bought in as a minority owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. Dead today at 71. But Junior Bridgman, a true Wisconsin and Milwaukee and sports legend in the state. And I want to make sure we give him the proper respect. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Ready to live the high life at home? Miller High Life is giving one lucky winner the ultimate backyard dive bar experience. It's a cabana complete with classic bar vibes, neon lights, and of course, plenty of high life. To enter, just order a Miller High Life at any participating dive bars in the Madison area and register with the link to the Miller High Life Backyard Dive Bar giveaway. Get a ticket to Dive Bar Glory at your local watering hole, like the Shack Bar and Grill, Mount Vernon Tap, the Wisco, and the Keg in DeForest.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just one dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
Look, we all know that as we age, our bodies change, but Carbon World Health can help. They have a process of testosterone replacement therapy that includes a diagnostic exam and blood tests to assess your hormone levels to make sure that they are optimal for you, not optimal for your age. Carbon World Health can help you increase your energy, focus, and overall health with their approach to hormone therapy. It's all about quality of life for you. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
I knew that we were going to be getting engaged soon and needed to do some ring shopping. Heard the radio ads of Chalmers and decided, hey, we should give it a shot at Chalmers.
They were just awesome at accepting us through the door and understanding what she wanted in terms of how she wanted it, and they delivered.
Everybody always is telling me how sparkly my ring is. They tell me that they really like the style of the ring and the setting that it's in. I am ecstatic with it.
Thank you, Chalmers.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Oh yeah, round and round they go. I get around, still clown with the underground when we come around. Around and round they go. Stronger than ever. Back to get wrecked. All respect to those who break their neck to keep their check, as though they sweat a brother majorly. And I don't know why.
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light, and I'll tell you this right now. You want to listen to this segment because we had to run by, if I could say a specific word. And Molly said, no, I cannot. Because it refers to a...
I mean, you can, but should you?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I don't know if I should, but it refers to a part of the human anatomy that only... I guess not only women have. The upper part of the women's body. And twins. And twins. There you go. But the MLB decided to roll out... Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Well, let's get to the throwing stones.
1, 2, 3,
Some takes are cooler
Jim was
than
excited
others.
to talk about the twins.
Is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
Now what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
And that's the most excited I've seen Jim Rutledge about the MLB in quite a long time, guys. I don't know about you. Maybe since he was a young man.
Hey, that's how you get me interested.
Yeah? That's how it gets you back into baseball. All right. Well, keep thinking about baseball, Jim, while you tell us about these baseball hats.
So, I don't know why they created these hats, but so basically Major League Baseball rolled out these new hats where they have the traditional logo for the team, like the Astros, Angels, Athletics, Mariners, and Texas Rangers are on the, you can see them on the YouTube page right now. And so those are the actual hats. And what they decided to do is basically take the letter, like the H for Astros, and put that right in the middle of the Astros thing and then kind of cover up the Astros name. And then same thing with the Angels, they put the A in the middle. And it does almost at times spell different things. The Athletics puts the A in it. Mariners puts the S right in the middle of Mariners. And then Texas puts a giant T over the X. And if you, get ready, Ryan, if you say the word, you are referring to a slang for parts of the female anatomy. And I don't know how this got through. This is Major League Baseball. This is not like a and every other team did it, so it's not like we're just going to slide this through. Like, someone might get fired over it because, one, this is sold out, two, they're not selling anymore.
Right.
They pull off the shelves. It gives off
collector's items for sure.
It gives off a lot of South Carolina Gamecocks hats. Those were big for a while. Like, it gives off same vibes as that. What do we think here? Was this done on purpose, or was this just sort of a giant mistake made by someone who doesn't understand Spanish slang?
Am I wrong in thinking that the Astros one is worse? That one's way worse.
Ashos?
No.
ASHOS. That's how it looks on there.
Yeah, but like
Ashos.
Take out the H.
Oh, but the H is in it.
Yeah, true.
No.
As O's.
I'm not gonna say it.
Just playing with fire, Jim.
I think that one's worse than the Texas Rangers one.
I'll tell you what, the Angels dancing here too.
I was gonna say, you guys
with
are
the giant A.
You guys are burying the lead on that one.
That one gets a little bit a little dicey. There's an E in between the L.
Yeah, be careful if you try to sound that one out, because that's gonna get pretty dangerous quick.
Yeah, the A is silent. The Niels.
Yeah, hold your tongue and say it.
You don't want to hold your tongue around those.
The
Masters isn't great for the Mariners.
These are terrible hats. These hats are like, who approved this
bad
design
hats,
in
but
general?
I can understand, like, they came up with this idea to put like the state or city or whatever, or even club name behind the logo, right? Like to have like a overlapping like effect. I get that. So when you then send it around and everyone's aware of it in this department that's coming up with new designs for hats, they all see that because that's what they were intending. Like, we've got fresh eyes. We had no idea what they're going for. When you see Texas's and you remove the X and it's a T, and you know.
Now I will say
I could see how it could happen. Like, nobody's thinking. All they're seeing is Texas with the Rangers logo over the front, in the middle.
True, but like this goes back to bring in some fresh eyes once in a while.
Oh, 100%. I'm just saying, I can see this being a total accident.
Oh, I think it is a total accident. But it just goes back to bring in some fresh eyes, because you don't think you could make a massive mistake like this. It's also very hit or miss. Like, some of them,
They're
like
terrible hats. Like, the Brewers one looks stupid.
Actually, the Brewers is one of the more palatable ones.
I like the Cardinals one. That's
but
the
if
only
you
one.
sound out the Brewers one, it looks like burrs, which is just another way of saying cracking some burrs.
Yeah, true.
It kind of fits. It kind of fits.
That one does
I guess
fit,
Chicago spells out Chicago because it's a giant C over the C.
Yeah, fair.
But it covers up the A and the I, so it's just Chicago.
It doesn't really cover up the.
See, these are
you can
terrible
see the
hats.
I and the A a little bit in there. Yeah.
Cincinnati's is just so bad.
It is.
It is.
And
it
St.
is.
Louis honestly confuses the hell out of me.
It is
It's like a cursive SL in the middle of Cardinals. With
Cincinnati's is Sin-C-Atty.
Yeah, that's terrible. Like, these hats are awful.
Or Sin in Addy, because you got the in between the C, you got the IN. So
The Chicago White Sox one just looks like a Chicago White Sox hat. You know what I mean?
It's funny because this is the kind of thing that the MLB is doing with their hats right now, or at least
they're trying something.
New era, right?
Yeah.
Because they cannot hold a candle to some of these AAA teams and the hats that they come out with and things they do.
Right.
Which is awesome for like small time baseball.
So what's worse, the see-through Nike white uniforms from last year, because that was spring training when that was happening, right? Or the hats.
Those are the worst.
That was worse because like those athletes had to play the whole year. They fixed it this year.
Nobody
but, like,
has to wear this hat.
Like, that was like actually your clothing that you had to wear and deal with for a whole year.
Yeah,
so.
they were wearing lingerie in Arizona. That was.
Hey, if there's a state that you want to wear lingerie in, it's probably going to be Arizona.
Oh.
Right? Well, it's 100 degrees right now. What do you mean?
Oh, fair. Okay.
Yeah. Lingerie in the desert. Hubba hubba.
I would
Sand
say
gets everywhere.
I did learn. I didn't know that was a slang. It was actually the Dan Le Batard show talking about it, where I learned that what was going on with that hat. So, again, just
wait, Jim, you didn't know about this? How?
I didn't know.
Metrokia of Madison Hoy.
You're fluent. You're
Yes,
bilingual.
I'm fluent in PG Spanish.
This
is slang. This is a little more.
You're watching the very tame telenovelas.
Yes. I don't know what the I don't know if you could say the equivalent on American TV. I don't know if you can say it on Telemundo or whatever.
I hope you guys have picked up what we're putting down by now.
Oh yeah, AC and Tosa has chimed in a couple times. Would you wear this hat, Matt?
Heck no.
No.
You wouldn't?
Not even the Brewer one, no.
No, the Texas Rangers.
Like if you were a Rangers fan.
If I was a Rangers fan, it might be kind of funny. But again, that's not really like my style as to wear like an obscene anything.
But like it's a wink and a nod obscene because
I know,
if you just
but like
wore
I
it,
don't really wear even wink and nod obscene stuff. That's just not my bag.
All right, Mother Teresa. All right.
No. Like I wear weird clothes, but it's not because I'm trying to hint at weird body parts or sexuality or anything. I ain't doing that.
He just got way awkward. Didn't he like curl up in a ball? I would buy it to have it as like a collector's item, like Ryan was saying, but I wouldn't wear it. But I also don't like flat brim hats.
I wouldn't wear it either. Especially now you got kids, you gotta explain things, so it's like it would be cool, like a collector's item sort of thing.
Like an Air baseball card, right? Or like an Air like sports card. Those are sometimes worth a lot of money.
Those things will probably appreciate in value. I don't think that hat's
I
not.
don't know.
But
if
again,
they pulled it from the market, how many did they sell?
I wouldn't even care about value. For me, and this is a separate conversation, for like sports stuff, I want something that mostly has some meaning. Like
It wouldn't to you other than like
that's
the
what I
wall.
would. I mean, like, but if I'm a Rangers fan, maybe I want the hat.
Even
Like-
for a Rangers fan, it's not like there's any meaning behind it other than they screwed up making a Rangers hat.
True, but maybe you want it for like that. Like that
For
would
the
be
walls,
more like
is why you
right.
do it.
But I mean, you could still like have it in your man cave as opposed to like wear it out. And you'd be like, look, I
Fair.
got this hat. It's rare. Like it is a rare hat.
Yeah.
I got it. Like it's a collector's item, probably for Rangers fans because I got it, and I didn't. And it's not beat up. It wasn't worn. Like again, if you
I
have
guess,
it and
yeah.
it's not worn, like it could be something. It's like the Billy Ripken card for baseball, where there is a swear on the bottom of his bat in the baseball card. It's a very valuable baseball card.
My husband just found another one of those in his stack.
They printed
Wow.
it. They printed them out, and there's a swear on it, and it's a obviously they didn't mean to do that, and it's a rare card, so people have it. If you're a card collector, yeah. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
But
I've never seen the movie either.
I've
I
only
just
seen
don't
the
see it.
Really?
Yeah, I had no interest in the movie.
Oh my gosh, the movie is terrible. Terribly awesome. Did you just
movie?
touch my butt, Dewey? I know your tricks, Dewey. What? I quote that all the time.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
For their accounts payable workflow, Junior Achievement of Wisconsin implemented a document management and workflow automation solution from James Imaging Systems. Junior Achievement Vice President of Enterprise Services, Lori Salzman, highlights the positive impact.
That impact has made it much more streamlined for us to handle the entire process from receiving an invoice to having it paid.
How has streamlining your accounts payable workflow benefited Junior Achievement's mission?
It has allowed us to be more on mission and strategically reach out and expand our impact to be able to reach more students.
If others are looking for workflow automation solutions to better serve their clients or customers, what's your suggestion?
If anybody is looking for a good partner that is there to help find solutions, call James Imaging.
Content management and workflow automation from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. I've been drinking Zoa Energy for a while now, and I absolutely love it. Zoa is my go-to beverage when I need a boost without the crash that comes with other energy drinks. It's packed with natural ingredients like vitamin B and C, electrolytes, and has zero sugar. It fuels my workouts and busy days. I recently had twins, and I have a toddler, so I need all of the energy I can get. Head over to ZoaEnergy.com to find the location nearest to you to pick up some Zoa for yourself. Zoa Energy for balance and drive.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever. That's 4 lines on unlimited welcome for just $25 a line per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. You'll also get the new iPhone 16 Pro, 4 of them for the entire family when you trade in up to 4 phones from our top brands. That's a new phone for everyone, only on the network you can count on. Verizon. Visit a store today. 20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
We can be twinsies.
to
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
I'm John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. We've been at the heart of many magical moments, from engagements to weddings to sweet 16s. It warms my heart to be a part of these moments for 40 years with people I consider family. With the highest standards and an eye for classic beauty, enjoy a warm boutique setting at Goodman's Jewelers, where integrity shines in every gem. At 220 State Street, Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store, Madison, since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
We ask and you answer. Tune in to Jim, Matt, and Molly every weekday 4 to 6 and follow at Jim, Matt, Molly on X to vote in daily poll questions presented by Siding Unlimited. Trust Siding Unlimited with your next window and door project. Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Go be a winner. Winners go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Millions of dollars are won every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. So don't waste any more time. Go be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. He's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Molly Brown in the Everlight Solar Studio. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
I love Molly fakes the hair flip.
Well, okay, you guys have to watch Scary Movie 3 when they do that part. Because
I know
it's
what
like,
you're talking about. I've seen that movie. I know exactly
That's
what you're
literally
talking about.
what
It's
I
hilarious.
Daniel, the landscaper, chimes in. And Daniel, we haven't heard from you in a long time either. Apparently, he was just holding out for Molly. Whoa! When did Molly get back? Nice to hear her voice. You know what, Dan? Where the hell have you been?
I came out of the basement and sounds like Daniel the landscaper did too.
Bill and Madison.
True.
Bill and Madison chimes in. The people who would wear those hats are the same people who wore the Big Johnson shirts from the 90s. This is very true. Do you guys know the Big Johnson shirts?
No.
I can imagine.
I guarantee, and with all due respect to your dad at least knows what they are. Because it would be like, yeah, they were just basically double entendre jokes about
Your
that
Big
phrase.
Johnson.
No,
Not mine.
I get it. Who was the player or what was it?
No, this was like, that was like a shirt. It would just be like,
It's still a thing.
yeah.
That's all it says on it?
No, it'll be like, you got better luck fishing with, you know, and then it's all like that.
Like these ones? Is that what you're saying?
What send it to Ryan to show to the ESPN Madison
Well, it's
YouTube.
inappropriate. Do we want
to? Yeah,
Well,
I think
but
like,
you can't just hold it up and be like this.
well, I think everything has to be like blurred out.
Well, okay, well, Jim brings up a good point. You are on the radio. You should probably
Well,
say.
I was just showing Jim. I was just showing
Gotcha,
Jim. Jim was supposed to say yes.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Who was the third baseman for the White Sox back in the day? The Big Hurt? What's his
first
last name?
baseman, Frank Thomas.
Oh, he's Thomas. I thought it was. I don't know why I thought it was Johnson for some reason. I thought maybe you
You
could
were
make
open
that
for
excuse.
Frank Johnson? Is that what you're saying?
And I couldn't remember
His
the Big
ballpark
Hurt.
Frank.
Yeah. I thought maybe that's what it was.
Even funnier because they think he definitely did like Cialis commercials too.
Yes,
So
he's still
Still
does.
doing the other ones for natural male enhancement.
I thought that was Cialis. I don't know.
No,
he
this
and-
one is for working out, Jim.
Oh, okay.
And
He
to
and,
maybe raise your libido too.
It's he and what's his name? The short quarterback from back in the 80s.
Doug Flutie?
Doug Flutie, yeah.
He's the worst. All right.
Isn't that Lace's? No.
What?
That was Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan Marino. Yeah, Doug Flutie, right?
No.
Laces out, Dan. No?
No, that's
What?
not Doug Flutie. That first of all,
That's a made-up character. That's
made
laces
up.
out.
Yeah, what was his name in that movie?
Finkel. Finkel.
Oh, Finkel.
Yeah.
Finkel is Einhorn.
Okay.
Einhorn is Finkel.
Okay, gotcha. Finkel and Flutie sounds.
You know, I'm going to go ahead and say that part of the movie didn't age well. Matt Hamilton says that Cooper Kupp would immediately be the Packers' number one wide receiver if they add him this offseason. Do you agree? 64% of you say yes. So there you go, Matty.
Brilliant! I'm a genius.
That was one of our signing limited poll questions. Listen back tomorrow. Or listen tomorrow. Listen back, Wisconsin On Demand, Apple, Spotify, and those great places. We'll be back at it tomorrow. This has been Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
See ya.